So as I was saying before in the last video, is that considering the amount of money which you set aside out of your monthly whatever you get, so you keep aside 10 to 15%.
I don't generally keep aside. It depends what kind of a match it is.
Okay.
And what kind of an event
No,
it
I'm not
is.
specifically talking about the stadiums. I'm specifically talking about how much money do you keep other than your normal paying.
That varies between 10 and 15%.
10 and 15%. So it's quite the average which every student actually keeps up.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So the thing which comes on is that stadiums, as you've been aware of, it's more than match. It's now an entertainment event as well. All the stadiums take it very seriously. So keeping that in mind, do you go for online deals, or whenever you search for a ticket, or how do you actually go and find out that which is the actual venue and how?
Yeah, I do visit the websites, and basically I search for the best deal available, and if I find the deal is quite good and it's in my budget, and I even look at the place, like am I going to Scarlet, so what would be my transportation charges and everything. So I take all these things into consideration, and then I finally make a decision.
Alright, so it's more of the total cost which you figure out before actually, even if Stadium X gives you for £5, but the total cost incurred is around about 40 quid, then you will avoid it and go for a less popular event.
Because even if Parkwise College gives me a pint of beer for £3, and the Millennium Stadium gives me £4, I'd rather stick with Millennium Stadium than to go to Parkwise College. The reason behind that is, I've visited that stadium many times. I've just visited once, Parkwise College. So, and even Millennium Stadium has got a bigger brand image than Parkwise College. So, I want to stick with that stadium, basically.
So, going on to the service side, you've been to both the stadiums. That's a good point. So, service-wise, do you think they are almost of the same quality, or Millennium Stadium is quite higher?
Millennium Stadium, I would say, is much higher.
And you're even not bothered to shell out an extra
fiver
for that kind of a service, even if you're an international student. So that's a quite strong brand event.
It is indeed. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, going across, you're a student, so other than the studies, you will be quite proactive on social media websites. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, of course. Well, every student here has to be on Facebook,
Right. And what about other things like Twitter?
Yeah.
So
we do tweet.
You're on all of them.
Yeah.
All right. So, considering that fact, do you think Facebook advertising actually create an impact on today's students?
It does create a very, very big impact, because generally we can say almost 60% of the population here are on Facebook.
All right.
They are available on Facebook, so it's pretty much easy to get hold of them on Facebook, rather than.
Do you believe in spending in plastic money more rather than cash?
Okay.
So there are no apprehensions on.
Exactly. Yeah. You're right.
So that's okay. So even being an international student, you're ready to use your plastic money on the web.
Exactly.
All right. Okay. So coming on to the mediums, which you think, which are more specific in their approach, can be than Facebook or tweeting and LinkedIn. But do you think, you actually come across these stadiums, websites intentionally, or the advertising is so good that you...
The advertising seems to be so good. When there are, some big matches, then the advertising picks it up, and then we come to know that, okay, this is a match going on. That's the match coming up in 4 days or 5 days in time.
Right. Sometimes, if you are aware, there are some super deals. If you book some tickets, 45 days before, you get some discounts. So, do you actually do it?
Yeah, I do.
Right. So you like to take advantage on the net.
Of course. Well, anyone would like to take the advantage if it's getting some discounts on it,
And for example, you're getting some exclusive season ticket holding deals. Would you even go for?
Well, we would rather not go for the season tickets, because again, the factor which comes into play is the price factor.
Okay.
For a season ticket, you obviously have to spend more money, rather than if you go for because as I told you before, I don't go to the stadiums every month.
Okay.
Depends on the matches, depends on the events that I want to attend there.
And how much do you think, like, you being an international student and you have a certain community, or, even people from your country or the place where you belong to, so what kind of an impact does it have on you, or when it happens on other friends when you actually speak and recommend a specific event or stadium to them? Does it have a positive impact?
Well, it does have it does have a positive impact. The reason behind that is, back in different countries, such kind of events are not so popular. That might be one of the reason. And if we take rugby into consideration, rugby is not so popular in other countries as in Wales. So we have got the opportunity to have a look at the game and the events also with them. So I should say that that's quite handy.
So what do you think, like, if a new stadium like Parkwise College gives you like free transport to the stadium, so would you take it as
Definitely. I would definitely go for that. Because it's a new stadium, and if it provides free transfers for us even from the station to its place, so it would be like very, very handy. We could save that much amount, and our focus would shift from Millennium to Parkwise College then.
Right. So if they have got the same quality of events or services, and as you can see, they're cheaper, they can
of course
keep some of the fares down and attract new people, and probably since you're quite proactive in your university as well.
Yeah.
I think you hold a vice president.
Yeah, I do.
Society, so you may even get new many more people.
Exactly.
In mind.
I was thinking to have an event, so I was searching for a place, and Parkwise College seems to be a good option. The reason behind that is our university has got a good relation with them, because we have got a tour with them. So, and secondly, we have been in touch with them, and I guess they might give us some few discounts also because of the fact that our university have got relations with them.
So slowly, do you think that this stadium is actually coming into the main forefront of the picture? Because not being directly from Swansea, it's
of course, it would be.
Area. But then it's less far away than Cardiff.
Yeah, of course, that would make a very good deal, Because rather than going to Cardiff, spending an hour's time in a journey, it's better to go to Carmelchai. It's like around 30-40 minutes drive, I guess. So that would be much more handy.
And what do you think of like in the youngsters, like the age group of 20 to 30? I guess you are in that age group. So is it more of the glitz and glam and which affects at the end of the day, or it's more about the cost effectiveness on the whole? Because I know you're always saying from the start of the interview that you are looking at the whole thing as a deal, like how much will it cost up in there and how dear will it be. But in the end, I think so, like if you go and say something which more people are aware of, people nowadays generally go for the brand value,
of course,
glitz and glam and things like that.
Of course.
So how much do you think it affects the normal people when it
Well, I don't want to be diplomatic in the answer, but the thing is, the first priority has to be money. It has to fit into my budget. If that's fine, then I look forward, like, okay, if there's a glamorous thing in that, there's a glamorous touch in that. But I would even consider if it has got a brand image. If I found like Tom Cruise is coming to Parkwise College, and if I found like some Indian actor is coming to Millennium Stadium, I would rather prefer go to Parkwise College. So it even depends on the brand image and even the glamour stage what we get.
Right. So that pretty much figures out that and more people are now aware of the Parkwise College.
Yeah.
Obviously, the youth, if it is aware, of the new stadium. So have you been speaking to any locals? Does the local people actually recommend you certain stadiums or matches?
Oh well, of course. When I came here in UK, I was not pretty much aware with rugby, but as I've got few of my local friends here, and they, educated me like, rugby is a national game here, and you should follow it. So I started building up the interest, and yes, I am following that game now for like a couple of months now. So yeah.